Nerdy for 30. Man, it's me, your boy C, the host of most of the things right here on Pop Rica. Man, we're keeping this bad boy on rolling. We're a little more than a week into the Nerdy for 30 deal. If you haven't checked out any of the other ones, what we're doing here is we took the 30 MCU movies, 30 Pop Ricans, and we figured out the definitive rankings of those 30 MCU movies. Yesterday, man, you turned the clock back 24 of the hours. We talked about Thor. And if you recall, I said Thor, not a great movie. And boy, do we continue that trend of not a great movie with Thor, Love, and Thunder. The first in the franchises, the Thor franchise specifically, to get a fourth film. Something none of us saw coming. Let's talk about this Love and Thunder, man. Check out the tagline for this. The one is not the only. We're going to give that a C plus maybe. I'm not really feeling that one. After his retirement is interrupted by Gore, the God Butcher, a galactic killer who seeks the extinction of the gods. Thor enlists the help of King Valkyrie, Korg, and ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, who now inexplicably wields Mjolnir as the mighty Thor. Together, they embark upon a harrowing cosmic adventure to uncover the mystery of the God Butcher's vengeance and stop him before it is too late. Listen. People really dug Ragnarok. It's going to be a little bit before we talk about Thor Ragnarok. People really dug Thor Ragnarok because it was something new, it was something fresh, it was something inventive, it was something colorful. Taika Waititi really put a stamp on it. Unfortunately, I think he might have put too much of a stamp on Love and Thunder. It seems like he took what mostly worked in Ragnarok and then ratcheted it up to 15 when it did not need to do that. This is one of the most beloved stories in Thor lore, man. The Thor comic book lore written by Jason Aaron starts with the God Butcher, man, goes all the way through War of the Realms, King Thor, all that. Jason Aaron has put his stamp on the modern Thor run, and it starts with the God Butcher. And the villain he created, Gore, the God Butcher, is one of the better recent villains we've gotten in Marvel history, especially in the Thor lore. It's a damn good story, and we were really looking forward, especially once you get an actor the caliber of Christian Bale, we were really looking forward to seeing what he did with that. And they just kind of treated it like a giant joke. that's the Taika Waititi humor, and I suppose kind of offbeat and weird and unexpected, but the subject matter did not fit the tone, is the best way I can put this, in my opinion. Not to say that it's not funny. There's definitely funny parts throughout it. The screaming goats get their time to shine. That's funny. There's, the relationship between Thor and Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and Stormbreaker's obvious jealousy and all that. Like, that's just delightfully weird. But everything with Gore just doesn't quite work for me. I find the fact that we don't actually get to see Jane Foster transform into the mighty Thor for the first time, I'm really not a big fan of either. Like that's a big moment in this character's arc. That's something that we should have seen on screen, and instead she just kind of pops up in that first fight. So I guess they want to go for the big splash page reveal instead of the character defining moments, because those two things are not the same thing. Not enough Tessa Thompson in this movie for me. King Valkyrie just kind of comes and goes throughout. Way too much Korg in this movie. Again, Taika Waititi just inserting himself way too much into this. Wasn't a big fan of. The entire second act doesn't really work for me as well when they go to see all the gods and Zeus and all that. That kind of doesn't really work for me either. And I'm not sure what that performance was that Russell Crowe was giving, but it was not for me. There's some good things that came out of this, right? Like that shadow fight that they had with Christian Bale there. That was well done. Just getting to see Jane Foster as the mighty Thor was enough for me to not put it at the very bottom of this list, because I adore that Jane Foster Mighty Thor run that is happening concurrently along with Jason Aaron's Thor run. He's doing all that. The best thing to come out of Love and Thunder is my willingness to let people know about the Jason Aaron run. That's that's the silver lining on all of this, man. Not a whole lot positive for me to say about this movie. Honestly, it was one of the big disappointments of 2022 for me. And I'll leave you on that happy note. With that being said, we'll be back in 24 of the hours as we keep this ball rolling right on with Nerdy for 30.